What's going on, everybody? It is Luke, and I have not done a video for recording for like 2 months now. So, yeah, exactly. What the hell, Luke? But anyway, let's get on with it. I've been focusing on loads of other things like Elite Sellers Academy, moved to Lithuania, and yeah, been doing a lot of things. But now Q4's coming in, I'll start to release easy little segment bits for people just to help with Q4. And then coming into next year, I'm looking to ramp up, outsource a lot of my online arbitrage business, which I'll document and show you the journey. Obviously, I've got the next year, 2021 £1 million turnover year challenge setting up. I'll do some profits for the end of this year. So there's a lot coming. I know there hasn't been anything for a little while, but there'll be a lot more coming, and then it will start to really form into a nice thing going into next year, where I'm able to outsource a lot of my Amazon business, and then from that point, I'll be able to focus on other things and just sort of bolster up the whole sort of 360 picture that I'm trying to encompass into this, not only Amazon selling, but the other aspects of it. So this is a video all about turnover in Q4. As you can see here, I have got October last year, and surprisingly enough, I kind of forgot what numbers I was doing last year. And looking at this, I'm like, was I only doing 18,000? Just under 18. I was only doing about 18 grand in October last year. So we're not even finished the October now. We're still going. And my last month's turnover was about 60,000. So my projected for this month is like 68. Kind of about 65, 68. It's hard to say because we haven't got to the end of the month. It's sort of changing. But like when I've looked at the estimates, and the difference in sort of those figures, I released a post in the group yesterday. It was basically saying, like, if I follow the same percentage increases from September to October last year, that percentage increase, and then October to November and November to December, if I use those percentages from last year and like use them in this, and then I go, okay, well, why can't that happen again? The same percentage increases for the year because the demand's there. If I can maximize the supply, so knowing what I can do. And it gave me a December's turnover of like 390,000, and over like £500,000 turnover in Q4 this year. So I don't know if those percentages I can really trust 100%, but we'll see what happens. Who knows? I've got the stock. I've got like 15,000 units in stock, and last year I had 2,000. So I've got the increase in the stock as well, and I'm really ramping up for the next couple of weeks, just moving into November as well, trying to squeeze out every penny that I can basically into the business. So we'll see. It'd be fun to see. Like, I'm definitely gonna put myself in a position where I can maximize if the opportunity happens to present itself. So what we're going to really talk about here is don't get crazy, confused why you're not doing anything in sales that in October when it's Q4. It's Q4, everyone. Where's my sales? Really, Q4 doesn't even start till like the third week of November, and that is pretty much how it's been for me every single year. And then December is where you really see it. So really you see it for a 30-day period from the end of November to basically the 20th. So the 20th of November to the 20th of December is the actual Q4 period where everything's flying off the shelves. All your job is to do is just make sure you've got as much stock as you can in as quickly as you can, replenishing just keeping up, because you've got a month to go crazy before it's then done. But obviously to be prepared, you've got to spend months and months and months preparing for that. You can't just spend 1 week doing it, because you're not going to have 15,000 units in stock or whatever you try and go for. I'd like to get to 18. It's just depending on pallets can book in and stuff. So looking at here, I did about 18,000 in October last year. You can look at the orders, 1,300. The net profit is irrelevant right now because that's not correct, because I haven't checked the products. When I change the cost of goods, obviously we'll change this for historical reasons, so ignore that kind of gross thing. But you can see the payout, that would be correct. You can see the units of sales. And then if you want to if someone said, oh, but how's your sales changed so much between October, November, December? Have you been holding out for higher prices? Have you been strategizing specifically differently than anyone else? No, nothing's different. All I was doing is I was looking at the opportunity and basically leveraging that opportunity. So what I mean by that is that I'll go over this quickly as I'm going it. So I'm jumping to November. See the increase to 33,000, 2,000 units, and then December 85 to. So you can see that the difference between October's turnover at 17.9 and the difference between December's turnover 85 is pretty drastic. And and I wasn't really doing anything. Like I didn't have some magic money that appeared in my bank account like 2 weeks before December, and then I spent it all. There was no difference in my methodology and approach to this. It was just that in theory, I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's kind of the same as what I've just experienced for September. I did 59,000 turnover or something, and I looked at my profits at the end of it, and it was about 700 quid. And that's including some other little bits and bobs that, like I'm using pallets online and stuff, so I get a bit of a discount. And it was kind of like maximising those kind of things. But I made 700 quid. Basically, I made nothing. You might as well just write that off as a joke month or whatever you want to call it. But then, if you think about it, you might think, well, hang on, what are you doing? Why have you not got, where's the sales? Why are the sales really mean the profit? But this is actually how you've got to think about it. If you're investing everything in other months, the results may not show in that month. So I could be spending, in this month of October, 30 grand on stock, pumping it in, whacking it in. But I know most of that stock isn't really going to sell to December because I understand the data from the previous years, the products I'm selling, I understand the products, I know when they can sell, and therefore, why does it matter if you pile up your sales in 1 month or you have a nice even spread over 3 months? Yeah, not that it doesn't increase, of course it does, but you've got to say, like, people, but why have such? It's not really about 1 month. It's about what did Q4 give me in the end. If we just do a quick 85k plus 33 plus 18, I did 136k in Q4. So if someone goes, if I said to someone, I did 136k in Q4, that's really what the true value of it is. It's irrelevant what 1 month, 1 day, 1 month, even 1 quarter. Obviously Q4 course is not going to be that one, but like a Q1. It doesn't matter. It's about maximising the times when that are there. So you can top heavy months. You can top heavy a year. You can just focus on Q4 and just neglect the rest of the year and still look like you're doing really well in your business. Turnover can be good. It's like so I made £700 last month in profit out of £59,000 turnover month because the prep and the costs of pallets. My pallets shipping was £2 grand. That's how much I spent just shipping pallets last month. And the amount of prep cost that I had was like 5,000. So my outgoings were like just on basically on products, shipping products was £7,000. Now, if you look at the number of products that I shipped and the number of units I sold last month, so if you look at the amount that I sent to Amazon last month and you look at the amount that I sold, they are not the same. The amount that I sent in was like double the amount of units than I actually sold. Therefore, the costs for the expenses for that month aren't really related to the month of September. They're related to maybe some of November, maybe some of December, because I'm preparing for some future of time or event. And I'm preparing for that 30 days in Q4, that mid-November to 20th of December period. That is the goal. But obviously everyone's different. So you might look at my results and be like, oh my God, you made nothing. Someone else, they make loads of money. But then they have a more even spread over Q4. They don't have a great, they have a great Q4 and it's in the hole. But when I think of Q4, I don't think of October, November, December. I think of pretty much the end of November to end of December. That kind of, or ish, and there's obviously Christmas before that. That's my perception of Q4. But everyone else has a different goal, a different perception. If I have the cash flow available and I don't mind doing that, if I need the money now in the bank to pay the bills and that, of course I've got to start selling stuff. I've got to split it out more. But if I don't need my money right now, let's say I've got 20 or 30 grand sitting in the bank. I don't need to, I can pay 10 grand's worth of expenses and I still have 20 grand around. And it's like, if I then have 20,000 units come December, then I go, right, I don't need any more. I don't need to send anything in December. No prep, no money. I'm not going to spend any money on prep or pallets or nothing. I have 20,000 units and I go and do £200,000 turnover. I basically sell out of all those units. I have like 1,000 left, or I just try to flush out all that stock. And I could do 200 grand, 300 grand as turnover. What was it? I think 86,000. Yeah. Something like, so 86 grand or 85,000 is like £1 million turnover. Yeah? No, yeah, £86,666 a month on average is £1 million turnover. So, and for me, that was about 7,000 units of stock. So if I have 20,000, you see how many lots of that I can basically do. I can do 2.85, so 2.85 times 86,666. So I could do about £246,998 turnover with 20,000 units, approximately. Now that, you know, if you're looking to make like that 10% return on that, you know, what is that? 25 grand? Yeah, 10% net margin. You made 25 grand in 1 month, you know, and just I haven't made any money in say September, but maybe, you know, we don't know what obviously October's now. We don't know what November is. You know, if you then add that 24 plus the profits you make in November, because you still have a good November, and then your profits you make in October, you know, just because any 1 month represents some sort of data, shows you something, it doesn't really mean shit. That's basically what I'm getting at. And, you know, and it's just also interesting, like, don't think you missed the boat, don't think you've done anything wrong. Look at the sales between as the end of October, I would have looked at my sales and seen this. So we would have been basically in November. It would have been the 1st of November I would have looked at this and be like, shit, what's happened here? But did I worry? Did I deviate from the plan? No, I did not. And then compounding that with the thought process of what I've just gone over about, you know, basically even profit means shit. I actually start looking at profit. The more profit you're making, the worse you're doing, because that means you're not reinvested fast enough in terms of you're not shipping more stock off. Like if I'm breaking even every month, then I'm kind of happy, like, because I'm like, well, that means my expenses were high, and if my expenses were high, that means I was sending in a shit ton of stock, and that means that it's going to be proportionately going up against the sales that I'm doing per month. My stock will proportionally be going increasing each month against sales because I'm sending more stock than I'm selling, and then I can then compound that through Q4. Ding 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 ding. You know, that's just how I see it. Not that you have to do it that way. Hey, you know, that's just how it's happened for me over the years. That's just how it seems to be. I seem to be able to, you know, that's just how it is. And a lot of people obviously have the same kind of concept as me and understanding as me, because that's when the money is to be made. That's when, you know, if you're making 25 grand in that month and 8 grand in November and 6 grand in October, it's like you don't really need to do much more than that in the year. And tick over a couple of grand here and there in the year, and you get yourself a 50k a year salary or whatever, you know. There's nothing more complex to it than that. And it's just about being aware of all these little things, not really, and it's all about focusing on you and not looking at everyone else's shit and whatever you want to go on. All right, going to wrap this up. Leave it here. Hopefully that's just given you a little bit of a not wake up call, but a little bit of like a pressure's off, you know, in terms of like, you don't want to be looking at everyone else and getting all that crap in your mind. Just focus on what you're doing. Triple down. Don't deviate from the plan. Trust in the process. And then have a great Q4. Anyway, see you later, guys. Bye.